Everybody Hurts by R.E.M.
What's the album? Is that automatic for people?
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's a good question. Hey everybody, welcome back to Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Great Measures. I kind of screwed it up, you know?
It's alright.
No,
It'll be alright.
it's not gonna be okay.
Alright, we talked about in the previous video, me being narrow-minded and
You are.
rejecting and disregarding bands.
You need to
that
be
I shouldn't have
more
been.
open-minded.
Bands that I've been sleeping on, and this is one of them. This band is called Strapping Young Lad.
Oh, this is a Devin Townsend thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
The song is called Love.
Oh, really? It's a question mark.
It does.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day about being really irritated. And Australians get a pass on this, by the way. But people that whenever they're talking to you, they end up talking to you and they keep going up at the ends of their sentences.
Yeah.
Even though they're not asking you a question.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, this one's called Love.
There's a question mark at the
Right.
end. Well, that is correct. Hey, man, drives me bonkers, dude.
You ready to listen to this?
I guess if you are.
Let's do it. All right, this is Love by Strapping Young Lad.
I love it.
Ready?
Proceed, Richard.
So, Strapping Young Lad, Canadian band formed by Devin Townsend in Vancouver in '94. The band started as a one-man studio project. Townsend played most of the instruments on the '95 debut album, Heavy as a Really Heavy Thing. By '97, he had recruited permanent members, yada, yada, yada. This song is from an album called Alien. It was the fourth studio album by Strapping Young Lad. It was released in March of 2005. The album was written by Devin Townsend and Gene Hoglan, who we've featured. He was in Death for a little while, and I think we've done a couple of songs with him on them. So you had Devin Townsend. He did guitar, vocals, keyboards, samples. He produced it and he engineered it, the album. Gene Hoglan on drums, the legend, Byron Stroud on bass, and Jed Simon on guitar. Like I said, it came out in 2005.
Mm-hmm. What, what do you think? You like this music?
Yeah, I like it. It's another one of those bands that, for whatever reason, it's like we talked about in the last video. Devin Townsend has always been another one of those artists that's been heavily pushed by publications, and for whatever reason, my brain says it wasn't deserved, or
what do you know?
Exactly. That's why I'm doing this. And again, I'm looking at myself and I'm going, you idiot. You've been missing out on so much good stuff. I mean, his ability to have the really brutal, and I mean, the timing of this song specifically, it was perfectly made for Gene Hoglan's drumming.
Mm-hmm.
But then he writes those catchy choruses,
mm-hmm.
and it's not a repetitive chorus. You know what I mean? It is, but he has little intricate changes with each one,
mm-hmm.
and it keeps me interested. You know, I don't know, man. I listened to this song for the first time in the last week or so, and immediately I was like, you idiot.
What am I doing? Yeah.
What have I been doing?
Well, I for some reason have some people you just tell, like, that have, I like the dude because whenever somebody has a lot of different projects, they tend to sound the same sometimes. Mm-hmm. Or they're just projects to get away from their main thing.
Right.
You know, when all the super groups were going on.
Sure.
The era of the super groups.
Right.
I don't like any of them.
Yeah.
Not personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rage Against the Machine. Go back and play with Rage Against the Machine. You probably liked. Who were they? Audioslave. Go back to Rage Against. Nothing against R.I.P. Chris Cornell, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then sometimes, I don't know. But I think he knows what he's doing because it's just he's making little adjustments. It's still the same dude. Mm-hmm. Still the same angst coming through there, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's to write a song called Love, and it's about love, and it's this heavy. It's fun already. Mm-hmm. But some of the other songs we've done, he sort of keeps the same theme of self. He uses the F word properly.
He did in this song for sure.
You know, he doesn't use it as a placeholder. He uses it for what it's worth.
He definitely used it properly in this song.
But he's questioning it, obviously, to say, what is it really? Is it for me? Am I giving it? Am I receiving it? Am I using it as a mechanism of control? And all those things are right. He says love is a feeling. I've been thinking about feelings and emotions.
Okay.
They're two different things.
Okay.
Okay? Emotions are what you experience in the moment. This is Carl Jung stuff here.
Okay.
Something that you immediately, situation arises and you immediately have a welling up of emotion. A feeling is something that you derive after the fact on your as you look back over the situation. So if I were to say, if I were to turn around, if you're behind me and I were to turn around and you're giving me the finger, or you're giving someone the finger, I immediately could want to come over there and be pissed off about it, right? And then I learned later that you were flipping off the person behind me. So then I develop my feeling on the situation later after introspection, you understand? Whereas emotions are the raw thing in them. So when he says love is a feeling, I immediately, because of what I've just been thinking about this week, ascribe the fact that it's, you look back on it and decide whether or not it was love. Because that's what you do, don't you? I mean, generally, if you get in a relationship, this is romantic relationship stuff here.
Sure.
That you feel love, you develop the feeling of love for someone generally. I mean, if you love all humans, you should love everybody on some levels, right? But I'm not sure that there is an emotion of love as much as a feeling. So that's what I hear when I hear said love is a feeling. Well, it's something that you then look back on and say, okay, with all these parts, taking all these things into account, I love this person. And then I think he's looking at what all those things are that he's taken into, what you're taking into account. I think maybe the you effort part is possibly an expletive at somebody, calling somebody, this, or then saying you F her. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a sort of a play on words there. I give him all that possibility, that credit of possibility, because I think I like him. I like his brain.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but from everything that I mean, I don't know much about him, but I think I watched something on an interview with him, or read a portion of the interview, which just really was interested in how he was saying what he was saying about songwriting, and then he was really generous to his fans, which is kind of something that I find interesting. I hear that he's a really generous dude. Okay. And really kind to people, to his fans, and just people in general. But then sometimes the subject, he says something in this song about, I'm about myself. Yeah. And then we've listened to some other songs where he's more like, he's more saying, screw everybody, people suck. Mm-hmm. I'm here for me. There is only me, or kind of stuff. I think we listened to something that had to do with, that we were speculating that had to do with God, or maybe it was about God. Something about him saying. Well, sorry.
You're good. We've done so many. We've done two from him, I think.
There's one thing in particular about God. We watched the video, and then another one was something, and maybe it had God in the title.
Well, one of them was called Suicide.
Maybe that was the one it was.
I think it may have been.
So I'm a moron too.
No, you're good.
No, I am.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, so yeah. And then even in that song, there was a lot of. It seemed like there's just a lot of misanthropic ideas in some way, and then also sort of, which I'm all about, you know. I like those. It's a lot easier to sort of reduce down to saying, well, this is about me. I know me at least, which is nobody, you know. You don't, but you have the best chance of. That's the best roll of dice you have, is to figure yourself out. So that shifting that focus to the self, I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's certainly an isolating thing. And he just has those themes running through, at least that I can tell in some songs. And this one, that's sort of in there too. And I wonder if he's just kind of mirroring back and forth between love being something that you give and then something that you take.
Yeah.
And which is it really? And then why are you giving it? Is it because you're taking? Is it because you want more? Is it a method of control? Is it just a license for you to go in and be physical, right, or to satiate your appetite? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I give him the credit for, and none of this could be on point.
Sure.
He could have just, you know, I don't know, he could be making fun of something. But I think that guy has a tremendous depth to him that interests me. But he has, you know, he has a wash of sound. That's his characteristic trademark, it seems to me, that he
carries. From what we've heard, yeah.
Yeah, and anything that I've heard so far hasn't had so much of a, this is heavier. This band's heavier than his. I
don't know. That's part of why I heard this one and I was like, all right, I'm not going to listen to anything else by them. So this is as far as my knowledge of Strapping Young Lad goes. Well, again, it's something in my brain was like, we don't like this band name and we're not listening to it.
I like the band name.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think maybe it's,
but again, I can't explain why I react the way I do to certain things. But I'm working on going back and correcting some of it. I have heard
good for
over
you,
the
Richard.
last week or two that I've been trying to expand a little more. I've heard so much good stuff that I just wrote off forever.
This is all good though. This is good.
It's
You
good.
now get to travel.
I'm excited.
Travel back to those years
of
of 2006 to 8 that you love, all the music that came
from. I know
from.
everything from those years.
There is nothing I haven't heard from the recession days. The housing market collapse of music.
There's plenty of stuff that I haven't heard from then either.
Well, it's good to be able to you know, and for new things to come to light.
It's like I'm knocking this defense mechanism down.
You're working on yourself.
I'm afraid.
You're working on yourself.
If I'm being totally honest.
Which you should be.
There was probably a part of me internally. And I think I think people are probably going to be able to relate to this. Maybe not.
Don't make assumptions.
I may be the only moron that thinks this way.
Don't make assumptions.
But when I hear or I see these advertising going on in these metal publications that are promoting, you know, this album. Here's the newest single from the upcoming album by this band. My reaction is, I missed the boat on that band. They took off without me. And if I swim and try to jump on, I'm literally a bandwagon jumper. You know what I mean? And I internally I lose cool points with myself if I concede the fact that I like what this band did and I didn't know about them when they came out. And it's so stupid for me to think that way.
Well, you're involved in something right now. What you're doing right now is forcing somebody else to do that very thing. To jump on bandwagons that I've missed completely.
That's true.
You're throwing me on bandwagons.
Yeah, you're right.
Dragging me around through the dark and muddy English countryside of.
I despise that I am that way.
Why?
I don't despise myself for it, but I despise that that's my initial reaction is, this band's already come out with 3 albums and they're popular, and I'm not going to listen to them because I don't want to seem like somebody who came in too late.
That's selfish, Richard.
It's terrible.
That's so selfish.
It's so stupid.
Man, you got to give up that way of living.
All right, I'm done with it. I've said my piece about it. Going forward,
Moving
when
forward.
when I show you bands that are also new to me, I'll just say my knowledge is not extensive.
We need to start seeing some strapping young lad T-shirts and some architect T-shirts.
Wear one.
You got to get them now. You got to have to start. Yeah, turn over a new tree, not just a leaf. This is a whole countryside. You got to turn over.
Probably
Of leaves.
the biggest example of me being that way is Opeth.
Yeah,
Probably the biggest example.
yeah.
And I still haven't done a full deep dive on Opeth like I should be.
People were giving you hell for not putting their album on your list.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Again,
Good list, by the way. That was a good list, wasn't it? Yeah, they think it was. Some of them.
some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. It's just, I'm still a work in progress
Musically.
all around as a human being.
Well, good. Good. Well, we're here for you, man.
All right.
We're here for you. I'm just over here for you to just beat the hell out of me with whatever music you got.
Yeah,
If you're coming to new horizons,
Yeah, you're my punching bag.
I'm here for it all. Good job, Richard. We're proud of you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We are Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Man, I liked that song. Oh, and thanks for showing it to
You're
me,
very
man.
welcome.
Thanks for going outside of your comfort zone.
Thanks for allowing me to show you that.
Find something that you didn't think, all that stuff you said before, that allows yourself to get there. And then take that and bring it here and show it to me. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Great Measures.
That was Love by Strapping Young Lad. Have a wonderful day, everybody.